Father. I want to say thank you, Lord. You are everything, Father. Thank you.
Father, you alone shall guide me. No man shall lead my path. In the wind I hear your quiet whispers, and you heal my broken heart. Even some of my friends turn enemies, and they pray for right to feel. And remember you gave us your only begotten son, but we gave him the wound of love. Send down your warriors with the hello. They carry down to the end of days. No matter how the devil try trick me, unto you my soul I will give. Father, I know this time is coming. I can see the high tide waves. Without you there is no other. Could it be that we decide? No weapon that form against us shall not prevail. And no man that rise against us, that word they shall never win. Because I will conquer, oh I will conquer, yes I will conquer them. Come on, let's conquer, oh I will conquer. Rise up and conquer them. I am a man. I am a champion. I am a warrior. So who are you to tell me that I cannot make? Who are you to tell me that I am not the greatest thing that God ever created?
Good morning, Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. You're listening to Hard Talk Grenada. A very special good morning to those of you joining us on the various radio stations, whether it's 97.5 CitysoundFM, 89.5 CRFM, 91.9 and 91.5 RealFM Radio, 92.9 Sister Round Radio broadcasting from Hillsborough, Carriacou, and 94.9 We Noise Radio out there in Brooklyn, New York. A very special good morning to those of you who are joining us on the various live video streams, whether it's on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, wherever you are joining us from. Good morning to you. It is a beautiful Wednesday morning in the Spice Isle of Grenada. And of course, we're looking out at some weather. It's been a bit unpredictable this morning. Sometimes the sun's shining, sometimes rain falling, you're hearing thunder, you're hearing lightning. A lot is going on with the weather today. So, of course, you want to keep your umbrella in your bag and keep your weather report close by, because we're in that rainy season, we're in that hurricane season. So you want to make sure that you know what is going on at all times. All right. We do have, we're in for a bit of water today. And there are some systems outside to keep a close eye on. And of course, with that being said, it's also important that we keep a close eye on the protocols that have been established, and, that we always follow during the hurricane season that we are in currently. So you want to keep an open mind for that. You want to keep that in mind. That you know where all of the shelters are and at what time, that you have a plan in place for dealing with these situations when they may arise. When you may have to evacuate, or if you have to batten down the hatches, as they call it. All right. So you want to keep that in mind. So there's a lot going on. We are still in what they refer to as COVIDious times, and we still have to keep in mind that the hurricane season is still upon us. All right, so we have two protocols to keep in mind. And of course, as we discussed last week, there was an incident in the Maribor area where the policemen or law enforcement authorities were attacked after trying to exercise their duties as law enforcement. Very unfortunate situation, but it's good to know or to note that coming from that situation, charges and arrests have been made, right? I didn't say we want to set an example. It's not really setting an example, but it is ensuring that the laws are followed, that law and order is kept within the state of Grenada. So we want to make sure that that is done. So I'm happy to hear. I was really happy to read that article that spoke about those arrests being made and those charges being laid on those individuals who behaved in such a rebellious manner. And that is good. That is good. It's really unfortunate and really sad that we have come to this place here in this beautiful, quiet country. There really is no need for this kind of nonsense. I was about to tell you that my co-host is maybe late, but apparently he's not that late because he's here in studio with me right now. Good morning, Mr. Paula.
Good morning, Miss Duncan, and good morning to all of the listeners. I apologize. Miss Duncan knew that I would not be in for the start. I was not going to be in for the start of the program because I had other activities attending to in the city. So it's unfortunate that she did not let you know that, my listener.
Just that I was about to tell them, and then I see you walk in the door, and I was like,
Okay.
There's no need for that again.
I see.
So, Mr. Bola, how was your day yesterday? I know we didn't get to touch base much yesterday.
I had a fantastic day. We did speak yesterday, Miss Duncan, for your
much.
memories. But what more you want? You want more talk than you got yesterday?
Yes. When you're not here, I'm not able to express my views and opinions and get corrections and conversate and stuff. So,
Miss Duncan, when we are on the job, we compliment each other.
But we always on the job.
Well, yeah, but I mean, when we are in the same room, that is true. When we are in the same room, we compliment each other. And we complain about each other.
More you than me, but yes, I agree.
Yeah. When we are in separate areas of the country, yet working, and we still may have to correspond with one another, there's no need for us to converse all the time. Okay. Come on, man. I was about to tell you something you could take a break from me, but that may not sound right. So I decide not to say that.
It's a beautiful, beautiful day, Mr. Paul.
It's drizzly here. It's raining. You would not know from being in studio, but we're getting some light drizzle.
Yes.
I think what they refer to, is it intermittent? It's kind of intermittent.
It's intermittent because this morning I wasn't quite sure what to do because there was sun at some point and there was rain. And then at another point I heard thunder and see lightning. And
there was a few bolts of thunder and some lightning this morning. There is an indication that
there are systems outside.
Outside there. Yes. In fact, there's one system that they believe has the potential to develop into a tropical storm.
Yes, Invest 97.
And maybe of concern to the Caribbean, especially the Windward Islands, which includes Grenada. So over the next couple of days, but it's still early days yet. But based on its tracking and the way in which it's developing, there is a possibility based on the reports. So it's just throwing that out there. We are not intending, and I have no intent to frighten anyone with what I'm saying.
But we have to keep them alert and let them know what's happening so that they can put plans in place. So the people who never had plans in place can start planning because the season is in full swing. And you want to make sure that you know where all of your shelters are in your different area. I know NADMA had put out a list. Ozan was here about 2-3 weeks ago, and they hadn't put out a list yet, but they recently put out a list indicating where the different sites were, the different stations were, and so on, an updated list. So I would advise that people go onto NADMA's website and take a look at it. I don't think we should call them out here because it's quite a lengthy list. But of course, if you want information on your area, a particular area, maybe we could help with that. But yes, putting a plan in place, Mr. Bola, to ensure that you combat the season, because it's not just worrying about if there is going to be rain, thunder, and lightning, but ensuring that you are not in an area that is prone to flooding, ensuring that your surroundings are not prone to land slippages as well. Only recently, when the rain started falling heavily, we saw some slippage in the Brizan area.
Yeah.
Yep, the Brizan area. It's also an indication for motorists to be a lot more alert on the road, because and be alert of your surroundings. I know we're supposed to have another interview with Rosalind, and that's something I need to ask her, if there is currently work ongoing to look at areas that are prone to slippages. And maybe signs can be erected in those areas to inform people to be a little bit more cautious when driving in those areas, especially when there are bouts of heavy rainfalls. So that's something that we would want to know, especially on the western
corridor. Yeah, important. And just to peg in here, kudos to the Ministry of Works and of course the government of Grenada for having started the road warden program.
Yes.
While they are not in any position to prevent major landslides and slippages, if those things will happen, because those have a different kind of dynamics. It has to do with earth movement. It has to do with the weight of the soil, depending on the amount of precipitation that takes place, and so. But they have been consistently, unearthing drains and clearing of culverts, cross culverts, and so. So a lot of the blockages that once used to occur,
no longer.
They are no longer there, or they have been limited to a great extent, and overhangings are being trimmed, and a general sanitized roadside is what we see now. Which makes runoff of water a lot easier, a lot quicker. So even if you have a very heavy downpour, because now these cross culverts are unblocked and the water is able to flow freely and drains are better directed and cleaned, we don't have a lot of delays, or as much delays as we used to have before.
Yes.
And kudos to them. It's something that they're doing in foresight rather than in hindsight. But as we continue to look at our road edges and especially like Granitang and some parts of the western coast, we know about the Molina slippage, which has been worked on, and we expect, as was mentioned by the Ministry of Works, that before the end of this year, 2021, they believe that they would start the process of rebuilding, and whatever else they have to do with the Molina Road. Because at one point in time, the popular belief was that there needed to be a bypass. They may have to create a new roadway, which was in itself very challenging, because based on the nature of where the road is now, you would have to find a completely new area.
Yes.
A lot of people would have had to be displaced, so houses and what have you had to be moved, and so based on what they were looking at. But having had all of the engineering and geological studies and so done, it has the revelation is that they can rebuild, doing some different things, with proper engineering and so on. I think that's what they're going for. But outside of that, I'm saying that there are some other areas that needs to be looked at.
Yeah. I'm also seeing a lot of drainage being built, constructed.
There's
a lot of work ongoing in that area. But also, Mr. Bola, as you said, a lot of work being done on the roads. There is something that I want to, and I think is really important, especially in the rainy season, when there is a high concentration of what you call fog or mist in the atmosphere. I remember when I traveled to Barbados last year, and for those who have traveled to Barbados, they would know that on the outskirts of the city, there isn't, as in Grenada, we have street light in every corner. There isn't a lot of lighting in those areas. But what you do notice in some parts is that they have those reflectors on the edges of the road to help guide vehicles. In that Granatang area, Mr. Bola, I really think that something like that is necessary. I see that they have done it in Tantine, because Tantine is definitely prone to flooding when there is a lot of water. That top Tantine area between Anglican High School and National College. The drain there tends to flood a lot when there is a lot of rain. So they have put those reflectors on the edge of the road.
But those are flat ones down on the ground.
On the ground.
Yeah, they're good, but I think what you also need is not just the flat ones on the ground. Because sometimes if you have a tremendous amount of water, if the water level is really high, it may cause those on the ground to become invisible.
Right.
And Tantine generally would flood not only because of heavy rain, but whenever the tides are up. Because remember, that area is kind of under sea level, and once the tides are up, because the drains empty out into the sea. Yeah, so the water don't get out. In fact, water comes in from high tide. But yes, for greater road safety, for the benefit of drivers, especially visitors and new people driving who are not so used to the road, it's something that can be looked at. I've seen in some areas, I see in the, is it around Wester Hall, Calivini area, I notice it, I think, yes. The humps in the road, they have placed some of those reflectors on them, on the humps, so that maybe at night they can reflect, so you can recognize from a distance away that there's an object, meaning a hump or something ahead of you. So it is improvement, and it is showing that the traffic department of the Royal Grenada Police Force, I think in collaboration with the Ministry of Infrastructural Development, because anything to do with road signs, and so the traffic department must be involved from my knowledge. Right. It means that they have been coordinating efforts to try and make road safety a greater reality or a better reality for us. More needs to be done. Right. And we applaud the efforts made thus far, but we also appeal for some greater urgency in doing what's left to be done. We don't want to be like some people to complain and say that nothing is being done. Things are happening.
And you can go around the island, just take a simple drive and you would see that. But you don't even have to do that. You just need to listen to one of the unions complain about money is being spent in construction all over the island, and you would know that work is being done. A lot of people are engaged in a lot of construction, the building of drains and walls and these kinds of things, roads, even in places that were impassable when rain fell. There are a lot of concrete roads going down there. So a lot is being done, and of course, more can always be done. But of course, you have to have the resources for that more to be done, right?
But if we bring our minds back to budget presentation for 2021, we'd recall that the then minister, still is the Minister for Finance, said that the growth that they're looking at, the 6%, which they are averaging, or I don't think it's averaging. It's projecting. They are projecting a 6%.
Or estimating.
Right. 6% growth in the economy would be driven by construction.
Right.
That the government was going to depend heavily on investment in public sector works. And a lot of that is construction works of roads and bridges and drains and cob walls and what have you. And we are seeing, to a great extent, a great implementation of those. Whether the implementation rate is at the place where they want it to be, I have no idea. It's something that we can seek to know.
Right.
For the past quarter, we are approaching a second quarter. We into July from tomorrow, I think it is. Yes, tomorrow is the first. So at the end of July should be the end of the second quarter for the year, the halfway mark. Maybe it would be a good time. Generally, around the half year, there's a report. There is what is called, what is the terminology used now? And I know that I'm getting old because I'm forgetting quickly. But whereas before, There was what was called warrants to add things to the budget and to bring money in and transfer money around. With the new law, the FRL, and so you no longer can do that. But at the middle of the year, you can review your budget,
Right.
you know, your projections, where you are, what you have been able to achieve, and that's when you can do what is called a supplementary budget.
Right.
When you can supplement, when you can add or subtract to any given vote.
Right.
So, for example, if under the Ministry of Agriculture, and that's just an example, you estimated to have spent $10 million by the middle of the year, and your overall estimate to be spent on projects and so in agriculture would have been $20 million for the entire year. And come the 6-month period, half the year, you do a review and you recognize that your rate of implementation was much slower.
Right.
So rather than being at the halfway mark spending 10 million, you only spend 5.
Right.
And you project realistically that you may not, based on your implementation rate and whatever else may be the problem. And it's not just implementation, because sometimes when we say implementation, it's not just the lack of doing it. Sometimes there are other circumstances that prevent you from doing it. Materials that you need to source because of the pandemic and because of transportation, one country to the next, and all of what we had to go through. Sometimes orders take a longer time to arrive.
Right.
You know, different things can cause you not to be where you expect it to be. Some that you can control, others you may have absolutely no control over. So you can now redirect and say, look, 5 million of what was budgeted for agriculture for X project, because we know and we feel very, very confident that we won't be able to utilize it. We can now transfer it to another area, maybe infrastructure, because infrastructure may have spent all that they needed to spend or probably gone beyond that, and you see the need that they may need for some more income. So it's not always bringing in new money, because sometimes you don't have any new money to bring, but you may be able at half a year with your supplementary budget to move things from one vote to the next, you know, from one category to the next, depending on implementation, depending on rate of spending, depending on forecast for the next 6 months. So we're coming up to that point, and maybe that can be a good time for the Ministry of Finance to indicate to the nation whether or not, based on the projections that has been made for the first half of the year, if they have achieved or have gotten to the 50% mark, or are they 40% implementation, you know, 30%, they can give you some sort of projection to make the nation know whether for the next 6 months that they can increase on what they have been doing, or at the rate they're going, that they will meet the mark that they've set. So there are a lot of things that is in the basket, a lot of things in the pipeline, and I really do hope that proper explanation can be given, factual information can be given. But all in all, I have to accept as a Grenadian that I'm seeing a lot of activities. I'm seeing a lot of work being done through the Ministry of Infrastructure. There's been a lot of improvement to roads and so, and you know, that is very encouraging, and I really do hope that we'll be able to achieve as much as we have said in budget.
And you know that over the years, implementation of these projects have been one of the difficulties that government has experienced, in terms of the monies are there, the monies are allocated. Some of them, we've lost grants actually because of slow implementation as well of some of these projects. So it's really important, as you said, for us to know where we are, where we need to be, and what tools do we need to get us to where we need to be as well. That is very important. Like you say, communication. It's the key to a lot. It's the key to a lot of development within our country. So, Mr. Bola, we have been doing okay, slightly. Okay. I don't want to say we're doing great, because when people hear we say we're doing great as it relates to COVID-19, they're ready to jump up and say, well,
I don't know what they're jumping up and say.
Take out the curfew and let's get back to normal and all kind of thing. But we have been doing great. I looked at the dashboard recently, and let's see if I could pull it up here so I could give a better account of the information that is on it as it relates to people who are currently in quarantine, as it relates to persons who have been vaccinated. So as of the 28th of June, 19,859 persons have received their first dose of vaccine.
So we're not yet 20,000.
Not yet at 20,000. We what they call it? We bouncing on the line. we chipping on the line still. And 13,875 persons are fully vaccinated. Or have received their second dose. Currently, we have 623 persons in quarantine facilities. And of course, one person has tested positive for COVID-19 and imported case, we're grateful for that. It imported, so we're not too worried about it. Once everybody involved in handling this individual does everything that they're supposed to do, so we don't have any spillage, for lack of a better word, spillage of COVID-19. But we have done well. From it's been more than a year now, and we've only had 162 cases of COVID-19. So we are blessed. As a nation, blessed, we continue to be blessed as a nation, and cricket continues to happen. We have been given a lot of high praise in how we've been handling the games thus far. People are able to go out there and patronize. I think maybe tomorrow I want to go and see what it's like, because I'm fully vaccinated, so why not? And it's cricket, lovely cricket. But if West Indies play a game like yesterday, I feel like I can't take it. And my heart can't take this kind of things, Mr. Bola.
But how would you know what game they would play?
I don't know. They better play good. They
don't play good?
This kind of edge of your seats game, I can't deal with it.
Well, that creates excitement, I thought.
I can't. As I said,
palpitation of the heart.
The leading cause of hypertension in the Caribbean region, Mr. Bola, is West Indies cricket.
But you don't have no proof of that, and I'm not going to agree with you.
It is true.
When the West Indies win, everybody jump up, yeah, we're the best. When they lose, everybody have all sorts of things to say.
But we pressure high whether they win or they lose.
That's
but
winning
more so
and losing.
when they lose.
Winning and losing is part of what happens in this in the sporting arena. So,
but we've been having a lot of success as it relates to managing the games, managing who gets to see the games, making sure that we don't have any infection and so on. I think our biggest concern, Mr. Bola, as it relates to COVID-19 right now, it's people's complacency and this inherent need to be rebellious, this inherent need to want to revel is the correct word I want to use. Revel it's very concerning, and it is a very healthy atmosphere for the spread of COVID-19. Very healthy atmosphere for the spread of COVID-19.
I mean, sometimes some people stand up on the live and say, look, we're tired of hearing about COVID and vaccine.
Well, you can't tired.
And I tend to understand, these are the conscious-minded ones, but we have to constantly try and reach those who are still so hesitant, who allow themselves to be overshadowed and their minds to be overtaken by all of the falsified information that is out there by the people who are hell-bent on making sure that they see the end of the world, probably, so to speak, by telling people all sorts of things that doesn't make a lot of sense to me sometimes when you try to reason it out properly. I mean, if you are just grabbing for everything you hear, then it probably sounds logical to you, but when you take time and you listen and you rationalize what is being said to you, you realize that, hey, this doesn't make a lot of sense. So we really need to continue to impress upon people. And I won't go tired at all
Neither will I.
You know, there's a song like that, can't get tired of the reggae. Can't get tired at all. You dancing to the one, girl. You know this one?
Yes, I know that one.
I can't get tired of talking about it because you see, I understand from where I am that getting vaxxed, allowing ourselves to become, our bodies to become stronger and capable of fighting the COVID virus, it's not something just for me, or it's not just for the protection of my family. It's not a political issue to say, well, okay, all the NNP people are safe. Neither is it religious and Roman Catholic to say, well, all right, we're in the Catholic Church, we're taking it. Who care about the Adventists or the Baptists or the Pentecostal or whatever? No. I recognize and understand that for us to be safe, for me to be safe, for my family to be safe, more of us, as many as possible of us, and if possible, all of us, should take that vaccine.
Yeah.
To make us safe as a nation. And that is talking about medically safe from COVID. Yeah. But I also know and understand by seeing what's happening, by listening, by reading, and by doing other things, that the vaccine, as I've always said, is not only for medical purposes.
Yeah.
Yes, it strengthens our antibodies and make our immune system much more capable to fight the COVID-19 virus. And some of the variants that we're seeing, there's still concern that the Delta variant may have mutated in such a way that it might be difficult. They're not very sure. They're testing and wanting to know if the vaccines can really, deal with it and put it to rest. But we will know in time.
Yeah.
The bottom line is, we need to protect ourselves and bring ourselves back, because some people talk about getting back to normal. I don't know that we'll ever get back to the normal that we once knew.
Accustomed to, yeah.
But we can get as close to it as possible if we just take our vaccination.
Yeah.
Yes? People can get back out to work. There can be greater gathering, larger numbers of people together, and things like that. But as long as there continue to be that hesitancy, as long as people continue to push back and fight back, and here am I not now saying that you must take it, anything that is being said by the administration or by a medical person, that you should take it hook, line, and sinker. You may have questions, and it is your right to ask questions. It is your right to seek for more information. Yeah. It is your right to sit with someone you think that has an idea about what is happening and question things that are on your mind, that are bothering you. The internet is not the only place you can go, and sometimes it's not the best place. Shouting out and writing all sorts of things, like sometimes when an announcement is made that they have found a new case or something, and people all up on social media talking about the lie, and because Carnival coming and they don't want this and they don't want that. Why would an entire administration just waste time to tell you an untruth about our COVID-19? COVID is not a joke,
But some people think it is, huh?
COVID is not a joke. It's not a playmate. It's not a toy. Yeah. It's a serious issue. It's a virus that can take your life away. It's a virus that can snap you out of this world in within days.
Yeah. For some in a matter of hours.
It's for some in a matter of hours. You're correct. So it's a dangerous thing. So why would you want to play games with that? Why would somebody feel, and be convinced, or if not convinced, make fun of it by going on social media and talking about the government not speaking the truth and the Minister of Health and, he's lying and there's no case and whatever and where it come from and, all those kind of nonsensical statements and stuff. To me, I think that as a people, we are sensible enough. Grenadians have always been known to stay on top of the game. We have done well so far, and kudos again to the government and the policymakers. Kudos again to the medical staff of this country, our doctors and our nurses and all other individuals that has been involved, to the COVID-19 team, which is made up of a high percentage of people that are not public servants, people volunteering their time, people who have had experiences, people who are very versed in the medical field, people who are good at planning and management and so. And they have constantly met, they have been looking and following the trends that are happening around the world and have been making prudent decisions and advising the government as to what measures should be put in place. And so far they have been working well. Kudos to the Royal Grenada Police Force for having played the role in the maintenance of law and order to the best of their ability as possibly as they can, and to getting people to understand that large crowds and gatherings and all of those things are things that we are not able to do now without first getting permission, keeping our numbers to a certain limit. And so all of these people, all of these ministries, these departments, those employees and so have been doing their best, putting their life at risk, making extra effort to keep us safe as a people.
Yep.
And yet still you have people taking that safety for granted and treating the situation as though it's just a big joke.
Yeah.
It's just a big laugh, They won't do this, they won't do that, they won't practice this, they won't practice that, they won't obey this, they won't obey that. So much so that when they are in breach of the rules and regulations that should be in place now to govern us and guide us, they retaliate and attack the police.
Yeah.
In the execution of their duties, and rightfully so. That is so unfortunate. And I don't know how many of us really sit and think about these occurrences and look at it and ask ourselves, are we really doing the correct thing, by supporting that or by helping to spread it, by, not taking time off to sit our children down and explain to them and things like that? We really need to do better as a people.
But also, Mr. Bola, it's quite hard to do something like that when you yourself are involving these children in the same activities that you are, or illegal activities that you are involving yourself in. I mean, I looked at some of these videos. Even yesterday, I saw a video, and it was again carnival-like activities in the Guelph area, and I mean, we know that, Fisherman's birthday is coming up, and
Still coming up?
Well, it's here. But
when is it exactly?
I can't remember which date it is.
It's
I know they had
June
a service,
29th.
Right, service yesterday. I think it was an opening service yesterday in the Guelph area. But we know that this weekend is going to be a weekend of activity. But you want to encourage people, because I know that the police are generally very understanding. Had they not been understanding, then there'll be a lot more people being charged for a lot of these breach of protocols that have been happening. So they're trying their best to be understanding, as we asked for a lot more discretion to be used in certain situations. So they're applying discretion, but at the same time, I think that some of us are taking full advantage of the fact that they're adding discretion to their decisions, because you see these kinds of situations and you wonder, as a parent, how could I feel comfortable knowing the seriousness of COVID-19, understanding the implications of these sort of social activities to that extent? How can I comfortably take my child? First of all, I have to make the decision. After I have made the decision, me and my children dressing, even in the dressing process, you have to think about it. You go outside, you lock the door, you hold your children hand, and you bring them down the road into this kind of activity. I sometimes wonder, in all of that thought process, your conscience still in telling you that no, maybe you're doing the wrong thing?
Oh, Miss Duncan, how did you arrive at the fact that people sit and think?
Well, they must make it's a decision, Mr.
But sometimes it's just impulsive. I agree it's a choice and it's a decision made by the individual. But sometimes it's impulsive. I mean, what makes you think that people sit down and consciously decide, I'm
How
going
could
and
you-
play a job?
But how could you sit down and how
Sometimes
could
they
you
hear the drum and they just move
And take your
without,
children with you?
without even thinking.
Jesus.
Because if they are thinking, people, thinking consciously about the consequences that can be followed, I would like to think, and that's me, I would like to think that they would act differently. I would like to think that if they love the carnival so much and love job and love, the festivity, they would think, as you say, if they sit and realize, in order for me to be protected while I'm doing those things that I like, I need to be vaccinated. That is what I would think. So I have to assume that they don't sit and think about these things. That these things just happen as the moments come, spontaneously, without much thought process. That's how I see it, as opposed to you, because you're thinking about how can they sit and think? Because the thinking process will give you options. The thinking process would allow you to see the negative and positive in whatever action you're going to take. The thinking process should allow you to evaluate what the outcomes of any one decision as opposed to another will be, and to look at them and say, which is best for me to do now. So that's why I have to believe in my mind or convince myself that there's no thinking process happening.
That is very disturbing.
It is disturbing, but that's the way I see it. And I may be absolutely wrong with my analysis. But
I hope you are wrong in your analysis.
but even your analysis is no better than mine, because if they're thinking and they're still doing,
it's bad too.
It's as bad as not thinking at all.
It's very sad that it's very sad that the things that make us impulsive are just the wrong set of things.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Most time is what is not correct for us to do is what becomes most impulsive.
And that is why we need to continue talking about these things, to add a little conviction to the minds of persons. Because even if you yourself don't want to get vaccinated and you feel like you are in a position where you can beat COVID-19 on your own, you have to also take into consideration the fact that you have children.
Yeah.
And how would you feel if your action or inaction causes them their life as a result of contracting COVID-19?
Maybe some of these people don't have feelings.
Very long.
Because
Mr. Bola, just getting worse and worse, I mean, you're not going down a very
No, I'm not. And I agree. But my role here is not just to say things that please everyone there.
Right.
We are not in this program looking for popularity.
Absolutely.
We are attempting as best as possible to deal with issues, to address them, and to flesh them out in a way that people would have a better understanding of what those issues are and how they themselves can deal with it.
Yes.
If they have to. And most of us have to. COVID is not something that has come to Grenada for the rich or for the poor, for the black or the white, the NNP or the NDC, the working man or the unemployed. It doesn't differentiate.
Yeah,
it's here for any one of us who allows it to enter into our system. Any one of us who plays careless, any one of us who decide that we're not going to follow the protocol, that or any one of us who tell ourselves that our immune system is strong enough to fight it back. I'm young and I'm robust and I'm strong. or for those of us who foolishly think, well, we are Grenadians and those things don't happen to Grenadians. Any one of us, any day, whether we think that way or not, can contract COVID if we continue to do things that are not supposed to be done based on the protocols that has been laid out. And the protocols thus far, from since last year, have worked. It has shown that by following, and when I speak or we speak here and we say things, let me qualify it by saying it is not every Grenadian that feels and act that way. You know, there are some people who, for whatever the conviction may be, will not take a vaccine, but they're following the other protocols.
Yeah.
They're keeping their distance, they're wearing their mask, they sanitize and wash their hands regularly.
And that's
they stay away from crowds, right? The better thing for them, with all of those protocols being established, would have been taking the vaccine. But for whatever God known reason you decide you're not taking it, please follow the protocols. But what we are seeing, and what is most obvious and very and painfully so, is that there are those who downright neglect, without sometimes even a reasoning, they just won't take a vaccine.
Yeah.
They don't follow the protocols. They are the ones who want to play job every weekend, want to be in every session and activity, up in people's face, drinking alcohol, not wearing a mask, not even having a liquor sanitizer, all of those things. So they are the greatest threat to themselves, their family, and to each and every one of us as a Grenadian.
Yep.
Yeah? And so we appeal. So when we speak, I just want to clarify that for those of us who are doing the best we can in the best way we know, following the protocols, being responsible as much as possible, understanding that COVID-19 is serious and it can kill you if it affects you, we say kudos to you. Continue doing what you're doing, and we ask you to do a little more by encouraging friends and relatives and the people you know and the people you meet on a daily basis to do likewise. We have to become much more conscious-minded, but at the same time be each other's keeper.
Absolutely.
So I say what I say because I love Grenada, I love Grenadians, and I want my country to be free of this plague, this pandemic.
Yeah.
I don't say it because I feel people out there is not worth it or something. We all worth surviving.
Yeah.
Every life is important, irrespective of who you are, the color of your skin. Every life is important. I cannot justify or cannot go before my father and say to him, when he calls me on that day, say, well, I couldn't bother with them people because I tell them once and I tell them twice and then bother. We all, every one of us, young and old, male or female, black or white, have a responsibility, first and foremost to God, to ourselves, and to each other. We are each other's keeper. We are each other's brother and sister. So, some of us have better relationship with some people than with others. But whatever means we can use to try to influence people to do the correct thing. How come it is so easy to always encourage people to do wrong things?
I don't know.
To tell a man, let's go do this or let's go do that we know is wrong. How is it so easy? And when it comes to doing something of purpose and something that is good, it becomes so difficult for us. We have all kind of excuse. Well, me and you ain't talking. She doesn't say morning to me when she pass. She child and my child have like a confusion. we find all kind of silly excuses why we can't do it. We are each other's keeper. It is the humane and Christian thing to do, to look out for one another.
Yeah. So, Mr. Paula, let's open the lines at this time so others can join us in conversation. The number to call if you are calling locally is 440-7377. If you're calling from the diaspora, it's 347-329-3101. You can also send us a message via WhatsApp, or you can call us via WhatsApp at 440-7377 as well. And you can continue to send us your messages on the live video as per usual. One individual is saying here, you charge for breaking the law, not the protocol. But is the protocol not part of law?
The person is to an extent correct. The law, the protocols are being set in conjunction with the law.
Right, so it's part of it. Becomes part of law.
Part of it.
Right.
It's like when you go to parliament, sometimes you can legislate something, but it says in it that the minister is
able, it gives him the power to
make
that.
Regulations.
Right, to make these regulations.
Yes.
It's the same as that same Public Health Act that speaks about once there is a public health emergency, certain rights and privileges of the people within a country can be taken from them if it is deemed as a risk to public health. Somebody say you're preaching today, Mr. Bola.
Well, if the message is getting across, I don't mind. I will continue. Thank you, if that's how you see it. But if the message is reaching
Right.
a few people on a daily basis, I don't mind preaching. I really don't. Because I really want to see us strive and survive as a country, not as a party. I'm not speaking party now. I'm not being, I am not politicizing anything. I'm talking about Grenada as a country. Yes? Because that's where I live. That's where I want to continue to live.
Yeah.
That's where I hope to live for a very, very long time.
And we would hope that even in the absence of whether it's the NNP or the NDC or the GULP or whatever political association, that the country remains, that the people remain.
Not just the country and the people, but they are able to strive and to survive and to progress well, take care of some of the things that are not being done very well now, that we'll get to the stage where we can do it better.
Yeah.
Because it's a process. It's about climbing and going further and further and getting better and better. And that's my hope.
Yeah.
That's my dream for the country. And whoever does it, it's still my dream for the country.
Yeah.
So if the new National Party as government now is incapable of getting certain things done for whatever the reasons may be, and another political party comes along and they are able to actualize it, to get it done, to accomplish it, I will still be happy and I will still give praise. That's who I am. If you do it good, I say kudos. If it's not good, I say, well, you have not done as well as you should do. And we say it here on this station sometimes when things happen. I recall when there were a lot of issues with the market. The government was doing a tremendous work in trying to rebuild the market, the vegetable market and so on. People had to be moved to different areas while construction was ongoing. And there was a lot of confusion and complaints.
Which
and
an update is due.
Is due, yes. And things like that. We said it right here. I said it. That the powers that be and the people that has the responsibility failed in informing the people on a timely basis what is happening, what they are expected to do, and give them a time. So while you were doing something extremely good, with the lack of information and knowledge, people was left to think all different sorts of things and to say things that in the end you realize was not necessary. But can you blame them if they don't know, if you don't reach out to them, if you don't engage them, if you don't tell them what is happening? There will be a problem.
It all goes back to proper modes of communication. I feel like we and I will continue to say it, Mr. Bola, we do have a communication problem in this country. I don't think we know or see it necessary to communicate certain things. Like, for example, I'm sure they thought that this is a small thing. We're going to do over the market. People going to be happy. It's a small thing.
Well, some people thought so, I believe.
And they didn't see it necessary to communicate with the people involved in the proper way to let them know that this is why we are doing well. It's also same with the vaccination as well.
Yep.
Communication is important, even for the different workplaces. Instead of issuing a letter to your workers and letting them know, okay, well, we expect you to be vaccinated, not saying it is mandatory, not saying that there is a must, but in order for our business to run appropriately, we would need for our employees to be vaccinated. So instead of issuing that in means of a letter, sit with your employees, speak with them, find out what their concerns are, bring in the relevant people to speak. Invest in your employees. Basically, that's what you're doing. You're investing in them. You're ensuring that they have the proper tools to make the right decisions. And then you act upon whatever decision you need to make as an employer. But communication is vastly important. I think we need to learn to communicate as people. Communicating is not just me making sure that I tell you this is going to happen, but us having a conversation one with the other and understanding how both sides feel about it, and also limiting the possibility of there being misunderstandings between both parties because we have communicated about it.
Communication means going both ways,
yes,
right?
not me just telling you what it is. And I think that's what we feel communication is. We feel that once I put the information out there, you're just supposed to soak it up. Whether you understand what I put out there or not, that is entirely up to you. But I think we need to understand that communication is more than that. a lot more than, especially if we want the communication that we're having to be effective. Effective communication is what is important. We have a caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Miss Donka. Good morning, Mr. Bola.
Good morning,
Hi,
sir.
Good morning.
Morning, morning. Hey, friend, you want to deliver a message at all?
What message is that?
When I tell her you're going to be articulate, when she see you come, that she remember. Yeah.
I agree with you, brother. I say no more.
She shall call every day.
I say no more. And she knew exactly what I was
I
doing
do not agree
and
with that
why
statement.
I was going to be a little late. I was making every effort to try to get here on time. But when I saw it looked as though I may be delayed a little, I said to her, look what is happening. But
Well, she had a lunch for you for that.
a lunch? You selling again? You selling lunch again?
You choose where to go.
All right. Yeah, you.
Yeah, I would just say something, Mr. Bola, Miss Duncan.
Yes.
It's in that government. I could say that government that made a promise and keep a promise.
Right.
You remember when the government, the teachers and the public servants were fighting for the 4%, and the government said to them, when the economy starts to show a kind of rebound, they will get the 4%. And come August, Monday, the public servants will be receiving the 4%.
Yes.
Alright? They will
Yes.
receive it.
Yes.
Because this is a government promise. I don't fulfill the promise. Alright? So I know definitely the workers will be happy to receive the 4% come August 110.
Yeah.
And Mr. Duncan and Mr. Bola will say something again. Okay? To me, I just cannot understand why some parents so careless with their own life, their own family, right? Putting this family in danger. Because I know they were saying, you have to be careful what you listen to.
Yeah.
Be careful what you listen to. Because, when you listen to negative things, you speak negative, you act negative. Because things that people may encourage you to do. Listen, I'm going to encourage you and say, go and hang yourself in a precipice.
Yeah.
Yes, you hear yourself, but you're dead. You're dead. When you come out there, you say, why do that? Mr. John told me to do that. But you don't have a brain in your head to think. You don't have a mind of your own. You have to think. Right? And you have to think what is good. Think what is benefit for you.
Yeah.
If the virus, if the vaccine is the one that could protect you, right? But not protect you from getting the virus, but it protect you so it could strengthen your body. When the virus come in, and it's come in, the vaccine could fight against it. When you leave yourself open as a freelancer, anything could come in and hinder your life. Put it down. That way you cannot work. Right? You don't want to take what is right. Because sometimes in life we say, you have to teach a child to do what is right. But who teaching the child to do what is wrong? And the Bible says that we are all by the sin. Okay? So I call upon the Grenadians. If you want the country to come back to some form of where it was before the virus comes, we have to take the vaccine.
Yeah.
The vaccine is what we have to take. We have to take it. We cannot want to see one country open and then we don't take the vaccine. That cannot work.
Yeah.
Like someone say, I want to work. But when you ask them to give them a doctor, they don't want to work, but they want money. That cannot work.
Yeah.
So I call upon the Grenadian people, take the vaccine. The vaccine will kill nobody. Because I know the people that took vaccine, and based on the situation, which way you are so difficult for them to return back, to maintain, to have life. They die, but the vaccine will kill. It's just like that. The vaccine will kill nobody. Right? But based on you let, like any sickness, when you let sickness sick, the routine, you have nothing more you can do. You take the vaccine, but don't the vaccine kill. It's because the sickness gets so bad upon you. That will kill you.
Yeah.
Right? So, Mr. Duncan, Mr. Bola, you all have a wonderful day. There's something I don't say about every different time is closer.
Okay.
Yeah, I speak about that. You come, but I know July coming.
Yes.
One day that will happen.
Good. Yeah. Either you're making breakfast or you're having lunch. And we know already, but you have a blessed day, brother. Thank you for your contribution. We appreciate We appreciate that.
Yes, Mr. Bola. He making lunch or he having breakfast?
Yes.
We know.
Yeah, you go tell us.
We have another caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
I think you got it. Yeah.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Morning, caller.
Yes. How y'all do?
Very well this morning,
Great
thank God.
Great program.
Thank you very
I
much.
just want to say, Mr. Bola,
Yes, my dear.
cricket is one of my best games.
Yes,
And I remember as a young lady growing up,
yes.
every Sunday you're waiting, you're doing all your work.
In the
ready to
village,
go in
man.
the
Yes,
park.
man.
Yeah.
That was the thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I also, my father bought a little transistor radio for me.
Uh-huh.
Because I like the cricket,
Okay.
especially West Indies and England or
Right.
Australia.
Yes.
Oh my God, people had a lot of interest,
Mm-hmm.
and I wish those days can come back,
We got to bring back some people too, because those days you got to bring back the Clive Lloyds and the Lawrence Rowe and those kind of players and them and Tony Cozier and Reg Pereira as the commentators and them. They were the best. I mean, when those days there was not a lot of television, we couldn't see the games as it's available now. But you listen and they were so descriptive when they do that announcement. It's almost like you were seeing the game,
Yeah.
Yes, I remember those early days. I
Yes,
listened to cricket a lot too.
I listened to Mr. Warm and Saint-Hilaire.
Yes,
good job.
they're doing an excellent job in terms of bringing the commentary. They're very good point to make.
Exciting a lot of people
Yes,
out there,
man,
because
yes,
when
man.
I pass around, I have people ready to turn up. And, even though, we know the problem, people are enthusiastic about going to take the vaccine, which is so important, for us to do. And also the Prime Minister made a very, very, made some real points. Talk about the history of the cricket and then the way forward.
Yes.
And I think that's going to give the West Indian players and all the cricketers, give them that zeal and that momentum to move on, Good. Because, our Prime Minister is a lover of cricket himself.
Of course. Well, he's a sports enthusiast, but, cricket is his main thing.
Yeah. So, Mr. Bola, I just want to say that I'm listening to the views of the people, and I want to salute the Ministry of Health, Kevin and the team, because I know they are doing community outreach programs with the vaccination. I know they were in St. Andrews last week, in Sotes. But I believe people also could take up the initiatives in their communities and get people to get vaccinated and give them a call. So I know they are willing to arrange.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think is not living up to the Ministry of Health alone, each and every one of us as leaders in our communities, we should get on board and help mobilize and encourage people.
Yes.
Some people slow in coming, but at least we had, as you're so correct, the communication out there. Because, and also, Mr. Bola, when I look at I brought my relatives to take the vaccine as well, and listen, the people that I have been seeing, in the majority are returnees and so on.
Yeah.
I say, oh my goodness. Do you imagine if something reward will happen to our poor people?
Yes.
So I believe I made the point already before. You take it for the future. You take it for your children. You take it, for the country. And let's move on in that direction.
Yep.
So, Mr. Bola, I want to thank you all. I said a lot, and I want us to encourage supporting the match. Although some people may not go, but listen to your radio and and let us boost Grenada, because Grenada is showcased to the world with that match being played at the National Stadium.
Yep.
So
Agreed.
You all have a wonderful day. Oh, Mr. Bola,
yes.
Caroline told me she heard my radio playing and she said, "Oh, you're listening to Mr. Bola. Remind him."
Oh God, to shout out for her on Friday. Yes. The
so
St. Andrews Thank you very much for reminding me that she did mention it to me. And Caroline, your neighbor, is doing a good job. I'm sorry I didn't remember. She had asked me to throw out. I think the fundraising committee of the St. Andrews Northeast executive, they are doing barbecue this Friday evening. It's kind of, I think they're starting about lunchtime, so you can have it from lunch. $10. They have both chicken and pork, and it's right there in Dunfermline, right close to that not new again, to the bridge by Trevor's place there by Stallion, right on the side by the river, in that intersection that takes you into the Dunfermline housing scheme and the main road to Grenville. So you can't miss them. Even if you're passing by bus, you can just stop quickly. They will handle you. They will have several stands with different people barbecuing, so you can get your stuff quickly. $10, maybe a roll and some other little thing with a piece of chicken or some pork.
The St. David's constituency is also having a fundraiser on Friday.
Yeah.
Yes, the 2nd of July from 12 o'clock. It's a takeaway luncheon. They'll be having fish, chicken, and pork along with, other goodies. They didn't put exactly what, and maybe I'll give them a call and find out.
Well, the other goodies in the bar, because the artist is having a little bar and a little music. So while they're wrapping up your chicken and thing, you could probably quickly drink a beer. If you're not an alcohol, drink a malt or something.
All right. We have a call on the line. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hi, good morning, Miss Cammy.
Good morning, Miss Duncan, and good morning.
Good morning, Miss Cammy. Good morning to you.
How are you doing?
Very well.
Well, yes, I heard a caller spoke about Mr. Wong. He did a very good job.
Yes.
We can't beat him for that in Grenada, eh?
Yes.
Pastor Wong.
Yes.
I listened, I was very upset, 2 rounds, I was very, very upset about that. I listened to the whole day yesterday. One had to win, one had to lose.
Yes.
Mr. Bola.
Yes.
My name is Camille Teresa Scott.
Yes.
Mr. Bola, I am 64 years of age.
Yeah.
And I am speaking to the Grenadian people this morning. I want them to listen to me. Mr. Bola, if I do anything wrong, people will come down on me in this country.
Yes.
People will say, calling all the radio stations. Mr. Bola, I have a little business operation.
It's gone. I hear you now.
Mr. Bola.
Yes.
And I just help a lot of people. If they come with something, and they say, Mr. Cammy, sell that, give me a sell it, I give them the money. There is one man. I travel with that man, Mr. Bola, morning and night in the village where I live. Anything I have, I will give them. That man come and he takes some things from me. Not mine. Not mine. They send these things for me to sell. And I will get some $5 for myself. The man takes some stuff from me. Mr. Bola, and he will not pay me the people money. I am appealing to him. If he's listening, if his children listening, his loved one listening, I don't know who they is. Because I call him to come and pay me the people money. Mr. Bola had 2 sore on me foot.
Yeah.
2 sore.
Oops.
It seems like we lost her.
We lost you, Miss Cammy. We lost you. I hear it pop like the phone call.
Yeah, but I'm sure she'll call back. But yeah, I don't know why she has to be appealing to.
Well, she has to, but
people pay what you owe, man.
Yeah, but we need to do that. We need to be just and honest with ourselves and with each other. Yeah. Our society could always be much better if we live with honesty.
Yeah.
There's another thing that sometimes happens, and just that Ms. Kami raised it, I think. There are times we allow other people's action and activity to influence what we do.
Yeah.
We all need to understand where we are. Survival is what is important. Not how much meat you have on your plate compared to mine.
Yeah.
Not how many meals you can eat a day compared to mine. Everybody must be fed. And the society has a responsibility to make sure that none of us fall through the crack.
Yeah.
At times, some people still do. Because sometimes we overly focus on some and don't remember others. We have to try as much as possible to be balanced. Another caller, I don't know if it's she that is calling back, but let's see.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hi,
good morning.
Mr. Bola, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thanks.
So everything good?
Everything is good for now, yes, thank God.
Yes, I'm calling from St. Patrick's West.
Yeah, I know that famous voice, yes, from St. Patrick's West.
Because I want to see St. Patrick's West people work hard and bring the victory come from Mr. Victor Philip.
Yes. But everybody must
put have some people who are fighting down with the people who work very hard.
Yes.
And bring the victory come from 2008
to
2013. Yet time when I sit down and I stay day and night working hard. And now we day in the window for we to work hard to keep it. Some of them say they don't want these people and they don't want that. So when they say they don't want these people and they don't want that person, so apparently they don't want the vote from the same people?
Well, it's unfortunate. That should never be said.
These are the people who are working hard for that party.
All votes are
Now
important.
the people working hard for that party and always keeping it there.
Yes.
Well, we don't have no problem, but apparently, and the people who benefiting more, what is saying those things.
Yes.
And we don't even study in that because I don't have a job. I don't even study in work.
Yes.
All I concern, I know I love my party.
And you're working for your party.
And I'm working hard for that party.
Well, you know your party song. What your party song says? Oh, you can count on me.
Yeah.
Working for my party, faithful I will be. And I will fight with all my might. Working for the NNP.
And a lot of them don't understand.
Yes.
They're showing they don't want this and they don't want this one, they don't want this one. Well, if they don't want about 10 of us in the party, that means they don't want 10 of us vote.
But it's not only going to affect 10 of you all, because you all have relatives and family and children and all this kind of thing.
People like who you hear speaking, when the people and them move, is a thunder what rolling.
Oh my God.
So apparently they have to stop what they're doing.
Yes.
And keep working together with people.
Yes.
To see that we could bring another victory come.
Yes.
This is what we want to see.
Yes.
This kind of hate and hate should stop, Mr. Bola.
Yes.
They must stop that because apparently they're getting you confused and they're giving you the spirit to go.
Don't take them on, sweetheart. Don't take them on. Don't let them cause you to lose focus of the goal ahead of you.
People must not do that. And big people are doing that.
Yeah.
And they have to stop that.
They should.
They should stop that. They're bringing us a hate. It don't make sense.
You know what? We'll have to talk off the radio line and let me see what I can do.
Yes.
Because I don't like to hear those things.
Yes,
it doesn't augur well for us. So call me after the program and let's have a discussion and let me see who I can use, what I can do, who I can get to, so that we can quell whatever ugly head is being raised.
Thank you, Mr. Bola.
We have no need for that.
All right.
We have always been known to be a very peaceful people. Of course, yes, we have our differences one with another. We are human beings, but we always solve them, you know, in a very amicable way.
Yes, Mr. Bola. Thank you very much and have a nice day.
You have a blessed one to take good care, my dear.
Bye-bye. Right.
Very well.
Yep. Peace.
Well, we need to have peace.
And proper communication, Mr. Bola.
We
Proper
need to have
communication.
peace. Yes, peace
As you were saying
among
before
each
the
other.
caller called, Mr. Bola, you know, there are sometimes we put ourselves in positions. You may take something on credit from somebody and so on. And you're not able to pay because we all understand that the time that we're
living in. Yes. And circumstances change from time to time.
Things are difficult for some people. But it is not fair for you to not say something.
Yep.
Communicate. Let the individual know, you know, when I took this thing, I was in a position where I knew I would be able to pay you back, but my circumstance has changed. What can I do to ensure that, you know, you get your money, whether we put together a payment plan or so on. It's the same as if you borrow money from the bank, you know, you can't just not pay back them people their money.
Well, some people does not pay back, you know. But you see the banks, because or some of these lending institutions, not just the bank, because they have a legal sort of documentation that was signed up and in place, they have what they call recourse. There are things that they can do. Now, in the case of the lady who called Ms. Carmi and so, knowing an individual as a friend, as a neighbor, someone that is wrong, and you take something, you don't go through this legal ramification of signing up all kind of agreements and so. Because your expectation is that this is someone that I'm acquainted to, that I know, and you have an expectation that they will pay. And here's sometimes what the problem is. As you rightly say, sometimes things change. You had an expectation to get some money some way. You was in a job and you lost it. The place closed down. Your boss man didn't pay you on them. The proper thing to do is to see the individual and say, hey, I gave you an undertaking. I gave you a promise that I will pay you by X time. This is what has happened. We'll have to make a new arrangement. But you must also show intent to pay, make attempts. So if it was $100 that you had promised to give and you could only give 20 now, give it. You don't owe 100 again. You would owe 80 now.
80.
And things like that. Yeah.
We have another call on the line. Hello, good morning.
Oh, I tried to call you.
Yes, you're on the radio station, Mr. Godwin Phillip, and you need to turn your radio down in the background. Please turn down the volume.
I'm trying to reach you a little while now, you know.
Will you get through now? You are on air.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning, Brother Bola, man. Long time I don't get to touch base with you.
You get a chance now. We're live on Hard Talk.
You have a lady doing a very good job, even though you're not there.
Yes.
You had to make me know one day because you know me as a political friend.
I know that. The next time you're in St. George's, and I know I would have you all acquaint all yourself one with another.
I have to do that.
Yes.
The time is right.
Yes.
Yeah, well, Brother Bola, I satisfied with certain work.
Yeah, we hearing you. Where you going?
Well, we start oiling the machine in St. Patrick West. We're in St. Patrick West. So,
listen on the phone. Turn on the radio. Don't bother with the radio at all. And just talk on the phone.
I quite agree with what they say. You know, some people we have to talk to. Well, I'm going to let you know some of the people who don't understand.
Yes.
They don't understand the politics.
Mm-hmm.
We need everyone hands on board.
Mm-hmm.
But some people believe. Oh, so I get enough feedback?
Yeah, but you see, that's why I tell you, turn down the volume on the radio. Don't listen to the radio. Just talk on the phone, and we are listening you. We're hearing you. You're going live.
I am very amazed. I wish Mr. Victor Phillip is listening because right now I'm surprised of the amount of people, young people that come in and ask me for his number. They want to see him. They want to know him. So I thought it was my retiring stage now with myself and Anthony Boson, but I can't retire because I had to carry so much young people to meet the new one.
Yes.
So I have to stick there. But Brother Bola, I always say it. I always call you name, man. Always I go and say the fastest growing politician in Grenada, Carriacou, and Pitamatic is no other person but the Honorable Roland Bola.
Oh my God, you're giving me advertisement now, man.
Yeah, man. That's the man. What? Because I started in the politics before you.
Yes.
And you go so fast. I was so impressed.
Thank you, my friend.
Yeah, I was so impressed. Also, concerning the vaccine.
Yes.
I had to chase some destabilizer in front of my door only last week.
Yeah.
By to discourage other persons.
Not nice at all.
I told them if they don't want it, don't take it. But don't tell nobody. They're giving false rumors. So I have to chase out some people because I think the Ministry of Health mentioned about it.
Yes.
Warning people, don't discourage anybody.
Yes.
Don't encourage nobody not to take it. If you don't want to take it, it's your right. But don't. You have people doing it, so I just chase them out of my place.
Yeah,
and
yes.
if they continue, I'm going to call the police for who telling people don't take it.
Well,
it's my right.
Yes, you can try that. Yes, it's your right.
Well, yeah, thank God I have my both vaccine and I moving on.
Wonderful.
And I'm moving on, yes. I listened a wonderful interview on Andre Station with the Honorable Minister of Education and the Honorable Minister of Tourism. Very, very informative.
Yeah, this morning, yes, she was very good.
Very, very, very informative.
Yeah.
And if people listen, it takes people without a heart to press government at this time.
Yes.
To pay the 4%.
Well, they will be paid. In case you don't know, from August month, and it will be implemented.
Well, I heard the NDC man say that's a good move for them.
Yes.
I had to give NDC a hand for saying they compliment the government for that, because I know everything they always have a problem with everything the government is going to do.
Yes.
But they say that's the right timing. I heard them last night saying that's the right time to say the government is doing a good thing by giving them around the August month. I don't know why. So that was good. So your program is very good. And
Thank
I
you.
could tell you, I will keep you in touch, because I start having group meeting again, and
Right.
last Thursday was for a little while we did not meet, and we start meeting again. So I'll be able to feed you.
Just call me. You know you can find me anytime, and you know how to find
I'll be able to
me.
feed you.
Just call me. You know you can do that
I
anytime.
have a lot to you beside radio, so
We're going to
thanks
talk.
for listening to me. Other people want to speak. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Godwin. Take care. Good man. Good man.
Yeah. Recently, there was an issue in the papers, and I will bring it up. I'll talk about it, but we have a call on the line, so let's take the call. Good morning, Miss Jacob.
Good morning.
Morning, Miss Jacob. How are you feeling today?
Well, I'm fine.
You're fine for the day.
Powerful.
All right.
Real powerful.
All right.
Yeah. Satan don't want to throw me out, but he's joking me.
No, man.
Send him down in the valley.
Yes.
And I'm asking, are you please
Yes.
help me with some prayers? The
Yes.
prayers is the compressed wood I want to throw on your head down in the valley.
Well, you just get a lot of praise, you know. Your name is being mentioned in all corners all the time. Even when you was in hospital, people was talking and praying for you, man. God is love all the time for
All
you.
the time, God is love.
Yes.
All the time. Well, I'm feeling much better now.
Very good to know.
Powerful.
Very good to know.
And I want to tell some people, please, leave me on the radio. If I don't want to hear me, turn off all the radio, please. Just turn it off.
Or you could put some cotton in the ears until you finish
Right.
speak.
But don't throw stone on top of my house, please.
No, that's not nice.
As you see, Barabola, you must come up and see where I stay. I'm
Yes.
staying in the center of the road, you know.
Eh.
Right in the center of the road. So tell you.
Well.
If anything mistake,
Is on you to come in?
the veranda I come in.
Jesus Christ. I hope that never happened.
But Miss Jacob, you're living on a roundabout.
Wrong about his joke.
I hope nothing don't happen for them to come. Well, I mean, I want people come in your veranda to see you. Come and sit down and talk with you. But I don't want no vehicle or nothing to run in your veranda. Nothing so for you.
Oh, God. Thanks for everybody who helped me out,
Yes.
especially my two nieces,
Yes.
especially the one on the airport.
Yes.
Abraham, I'm sure you're supposed to
Yeah,
go and
yes,
do
yes.
Abraham.
Yes.
Right. And she bring her cousin. My cousin died on her husband. Thanks to them and the nurse, I forget her right name now. The nurse. When
Yes.
she come, she say no. Miss Jacob, you're not staying here as week before.
Yeah.
No, not here today. I is Mitchell, and I'm bringing you straight in the hospital.
In the hospital.
And where I stay now, my cousin living on top of the hill. So anything in here in my door,
You come down.
come down is joke. He come down. And he come down now, they not say, I call in the ambulance. My cousin say, which one are the ambulance? You don't call in the ambulance because the ambulance could take too long.
Yes.
He takes, if the lady is renting from him, she have a transport. He tell her, come down. And he come down with my niece to look in my house for clothes. Make sure he put me in the car first.
And they pack up the things and they gone with you.
Gone with me.
Yes.
Papa, when they reach in the hospital, in the waiting room, when I'm going in, but the amount of people we see in front the Judy say, lad, you have a lot of people there. So somebody here, he says him out, and somebody, they turn back and they say, Miss Abraham, Judy, who you bringing there? He say, I'm bringing my aunt, Miss who? Miss Jacob. Bring us straight. Don't stand up, you know.
Yes.
Bring us straight in. All those patients and them say, no, bring it, go in, Miss Jacob, because she look as if she go collapse in me hand.
Yes,
and I don't want
yes.
she collapse in me hand at all. But when they bring the nurse go and tell the doctor come immediately. And the doctor come, and the doctor say, Lord, Miss Jacob is Miss Jacob, and a good friend of his own too. Papa, in the waiting room, they put a drips. They open the drips, they come too fast.
Okay.
And they put a tetanus injection in it, down in the waiting room. And I reach up on the water about 8:30. When I reach up on the water again, they give me another drip with an antibiotic. Because they say me thing, I suffer anything, I think on my liver, my kidney, and my urine. Papa, and they walk on me good, especially those night nurses. Oh my God. I say, nurse, when you see her going out, I running away with all of value inside it.
Yes, man. They treat you so nice. You're in love with them.
And they say, well, one of them say, well, Miss Jacob, where you go put us? I say, we go on an island for ourselves and we walking right on the island.
What is this? You have big plans. Big plans.
Especially those doctors. Those doctors was nice and sweet. It was nice. But he had one patient. That lady behaved naughty. I say, what, madam, granny? And she said she had 91. You could see she behaving. That is how she don't behave at
Yes.
home. I say, granny, oh God, don't do that now. Go back up, you go fall down. You see that broomstick I had there? I give you one broomstick. Holy Lord. Then she come down, she go down on the ground, and she lie down on the ground. And that poor little nurse, oh God, if you see her, she raise up the lady.
Yes.
Look at her, you know. She just raise her up, and she put
her back on the bed.
Yeah. I say, Lord, Granny, what a nice the nurse is.
Yes,
that's
man. Committed to her work.
Yes, some of them with me now. Nobody never rough me yet. I had a you see those little police and them no that they in the blue.
Yeah.
The white and
the traffic wardens.
That you brute. One take me. Hey, Miss Jacob, where you going? Miss Jacob, when she call her next one, watch. You assist Miss Jacob wherever she going. If she going in flow, go in flow with her. If she going cable and wireless, go in cable and wireless. To pay she like when I don't pay. She say, you want anything in the market? I say, no, God, I don't give you too much trouble. I can't work too much. Oh, bring me have that time that day in the market. She bring me to me that time me adapted that time to wait on some food because he had some people. And you know the lady come back. The young lady come back and put me in the bus.
Okay. She treats you very kindly, and that's what they should do.
And
compliments to them.
Kind of nice.
Yes, man. Senior citizens getting the best treatment that they need.
But some senior citizens.
Yes.
Easy.
Yes.
Well, Jacob, we hope that you enjoy the remainder of your day. It's a nice rainy day outside.
The remainder of the day.
Yes, so you're going to make some soup and lie down and just relax for the rest of the day.
Amen.
All right.
I drink some coconut water.
Yes.
My neighbor gave me 2 coconuts. He cut it and I put it. Well, I have 1 coconut in the fridge.
Yes.
Tomorrow I eat in that. And I eat one already and I drink my breakfast. And I take my medication. And I did listening to my brother and sister day.
Very well. So
you have a wonderful and a God-blessed day.
We wish the same to you too.
Lord.
We wish the same to you. Take good care. Get along nicely.
Yes. So, Mr. Bowler, there was an emergent story last week. And I think with the limited time that we have, I want to talk about it, but I want to give ample time for us to discuss it. But we have a call coming on an overseas line. So let's take that first. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning, sir.
This is Brooklyn calling.
Brooklyn, New York.
And I'm reporting that everything has been confirmed. I got the confirmation for the place where I'm going to do the quarantine, and quite a few people got theirs.
Right.
It's going to be spread out over about 20 days. People coming at different times.
At different times. Okay.
But I have one. Well, I have many questions, but there's one question I'm going to ask. You mentioned that. You remember a long time ago, I asked the question about people working in Grenada, remote work, you said that it was taken up in Parliament.
The law has been passed. Yes.
Oh, okay, beautiful. That's good. Very good. That's good. Now, next question or next observation or something I want to say. We have a lot of Grenadians living here in Brooklyn that are of a different political, what's the word?
Orientation. Yes, different
orientation.
Yes.
And they speak very badly about Grenada. They don't like Dr. Mitchell and the NNP, but they don't say we don't like Dr. Mitchell and the NNP. They make it sound as if Grenada is so bad. Everything in Grenada is so bad. There is no progress, no nothing. I'll give you an example. I had a friend, a Chinese friend. He spent his honeymoon at the Sandals Hotel.
Yes.
And when I hadn't seen him for a while, when he came back, he gets me my Tiger Balm patch.
Yes.
I don't know if you heard of the Tiger Balm patch.
Yes, I know the Tiger Balm.
And he said to me, "Oh, I went to Grenada for my honeymoon and this." I said, "Oh, so you must have had a great time because you hear me talking about." Because I said, "Did you rent a car and drive around the island?" He said he was afraid. The only thing he did was what Sandals organized. And I have been blabbing my mouth about Grenada to anybody who would listen.
Yes.
And I say, if you ever get there, drive around the island, meet the local people. They're the best in the world. You're safe, so on and so forth. But he heard so much nonsense from Grenadians who are supposed to be loving their country that he was afraid to go out with his wife on their own and drive around the country and see the beauty of the island. And I think that's so sad.
That's sad. Very sad.
It is so sad. One more thing. I personally, I like Swedish pancakes, the one they call the crepes, the thin one. Now, my daughter and I are going to be doing 3 days quarantine. That means, I'm assuming quarantine means that you're stuck inside of that apartment and you can't go anywhere.
Yeah, no.
Now, if anybody knows, if the short time you have, anybody knows the number to the customs at the airport, I would really like them to call in and give it to us. Well, just say it before the end of the program, because I plan to bring 3 days supply of frozen pancakes. It's something that you warm up in a microwave.
Yeah, yes.
And my smoked salmon.
Yes.
Which I love very much. And I want to know if I'm going to be penalized for bringing that or,
I don't think so. I can't speak for the customs, but that is food items. They may inspect it, but I rather doubt they will penalize you. What you want, customs or immigration? Which one you
got? It would be immigration, not customs.
You get the number? No, customs is who would search his bag with his stuff. So it is. But if he calls immigration at the airport, if you have that number up there, they will get him into customs. We're punching the keyboards and trying to see if we can pick up the number for you right about this time, but I don't think you should have much of a problem. Once you're not bringing an abundance that they would be convinced that you're going to sell.
No, because we're not going to be able to go and buy anything in the store for at least during the quarantine.
Yeah, during the quarantine time, no.
And we got to eat.
Yes.
Google working with me today.
What? It's taking time to come up. But I also believe that at the places where you quarantine, they oftentimes have staff members around, yeah? That if a person needs something, they can reach out to them in terms of going to the supermarket or so to pick it up for them. But bringing it is, I think, a safe enough thing. It's properly wrapped, it's thing. They would look at it and you explain to them why you brought it and so forth. I don't think it should be much of a problem.
Oh, there was one more thing. I did call the police station on the Carriacou, I think it is,
yes.
about that $300 temporary permit.
Yes.
And they said to me, that's almost criminal.
Yeah, it's $60 we found out.
Yes.
We did find out.
Someone sent in an actual receipt on the same day of the program.
Yes.
Yes, so they said to me, as soon as your quarantine is finished, come down to the thing and you'll get it the same day. If there's not a big amount of people, you get it exactly within the hour. So that's exactly what a lot of us are going to do.
Definitely.
Like I said, you don't mind somebody making a little profit because they're doing something. But $500, $400.
Well, I don't even call it profit. I see like a service fee. But I mean, for the service they do, but it's too much. You're not finding it now, Duncan? The number?
Yeah, it's 444-4101.
444-4101 for
the Morris Bishop International Airport.
Okay, good.
And they will direct you to whichever department
you want to go. Yeah.
444-4101. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I'll do that and I'll pass it on to the rest of the group. Like I said, the group will be coming at different. Not everybody's not coming on the same day. It's over a period of about 15, 20 days. And I'm the one who's going to be getting the information about places to stay and things like that. So
what we need you to do,
be fine.
What we need you to do when you get to Grenada and your quarantine is over, give us a call here, and we'll find out where to hook up. We probably might be able to bring you on the program one day so you can talk about all the good things you have been doing over there to benefit Grenada.
Yes, I intend to do that.
Hook up with us, and we wish you a safe flight, you and your entire team. Get to Grenada safe, and I know you will have a good time. I mean, while confined a little bit, because we're still very particular about the COVID, the protocols and so, but you will have a good time.
I certainly will. Because I told everybody, I said, my birthday is July the 11th, and when I wake up that morning, I'm going on the beach.
Yes.
I'm going to lie down in the salt water. Don't bother me.
Well, happy birthday in advance, my brother.
Thank you very much.
Take good care.
And Grenada, good morning. Carriacou, Petit Martinique, everybody, enjoy yourselves. Bye.
Bye-bye.
We have a caller on the line, and that will be a final call for the morning, Mr. Bola. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Thank you. Morning.
I just want to touch on 3 issues, but they are linked, yeah?
Yes.
Right, and we only have 30 seconds.
No, it could get a little more than that. Just a little more than that. Go quickly, because at 11:45 we have to break. So let me not waste more of your time. Go ahead. Right ahead.
Okay. I want to touch on the Kimpton Hawana Bay Resort. We are now, the case is now in arbitration, yeah?
I don't know. I can't say yes.
With the International Center for Settlement of Investment Dispute. That's the Washington-based, it's the World Bank institution, yeah?
Yeah.
So, in a case like that, I have a question to ask Mr. Bola as a senator and a past minister of government. And I link in two other issues with that. What's about the Dorset demolition on the beach there? And we have a Gemma Bain issue where the government have to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to this claimant from court judgment. Don't you see this as mismanagement and bad management practices by the NMP government?
No, I don't see that, sir.
But
I don't.
Don't you think this? You think that the state should be paying back that money?
Well, whatever the government does is on behalf of the state. The government belongs to the state.
So at the end of the day, the government is mismanaging the resources.
Governments could make mistake like any other person. Governments does things like any other individual that may not end up. Well, let me answer now. If you're asking, let's have a dialogue.
Yeah, we're talking. Yeah.
Yeah. So allow me to answer, please. Thanks. Because we don't have a lot of time, like we tell you.
Yeah, I know.
Like most other people or businesses, you engage in certain things based on information that has reached you, and sometimes the end result make you realize that, no, you did not have enough information, or the actions taken did not give you the results you were looking for. It happens from time to time. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm not saying it's what should happen, but it does. Yeah. And when that happens, the people of the country, because I glean where you're going, the people of the country does have the opportunity periodically, every 5 years, based on the Constitution, to determine and to correct your work, and to say, based on X reason, we're not going to give you another chance. But that's their choice. That's the people's choice.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's not the first time, it's not the second, not the many
but
times.
The people are the ones who determine at the end of the day. Not just you and me. We are part of the process. So whether I agree or disagree with you doesn't make a difference with whether the NNP will be in government or not. It is the people, when that time comes, that makes that decision.
And also, Mr. Bola, it's not as he's, and I think I understand where he's trying to go. He's trying to say that these things are happening because of mismanagement based on government or the administration. Yeah. But that is not necessarily the case. Because as an individual, let's look at it from an individual point of view. You make decisions in your home that you think is best for your family, that you think will benefit the members of your family.
Certainly.
Now, the information that you receive at the time of making the decision that you want to make may seem to lead you in the direction where you want to be or where you want to go. Now, things change, and that is the only thing in life that we know is constant, change. So what happens on the point of making the decision and months after may change. The circumstances may change.
But
the decision, the decision at the time it was made may not have been a bad decision, but because circumstances have changed, it has resulted in something that may not be favorable in the eyes of the people, or in the eyes of investors, or in the eyes of government. Yeah. But it does not mean that there has been mismanagement. It just means that life has happened. A risk has been taken, and there has been
a result.
Like it or not. Talking here about finances. Money,
yeah.
Yes, but
most things
life.
Involve finance.
But that is life.
Money could have been spent on education, healthcare, housing. And why we have to pay people all this money in court cases?
But that is life.
Hold on. Let me. Okay, we're running out of time, but let me just ask you one question. The Gemma Bain issue, as you bring it up, where did it start from?
Well, you have to be with administrative.
Yes. So, which administration where did it start? Which administration did it start with?
Well, I don't know much about it.
Well, right. So there you see. Now listen. Traditionally, and based on the public service rules, no one is ever appointed permanently in the position as cabinet secretary. That's the issue. That's where it started. A court case was held because a previous administration, the NDC, put her in a permanent position, which this government said it is not correct. You don't put people there permanently. You serve a government. The government changed. The government has that right to put whoever else they want in the position.
Well, at the end of the day, she won the case, isn't it?
What is a case? What is a case?
And that's what we have to look at.
That's what I'm asking you. What is a case? A case is not always. It's not. A case is not always. Listen, let's be frank with each other now. A case, and be frank with the nation, is not always who is right and who is wrong. A case is about presentation of facts and the the judge or the magistrate, the jury, make a determination. You know as well as I do, and I'm not saying that is what it is in Miss Bain's case, but I'm saying generally, court decisions is not always who is right and wrong. A lot of innocent people get jailed because they couldn't present the facts as good as the other person. A lot of people who were guilty got away because they had a good lawyer that can present the case. So if we're talking just about case, we're making a mistake. But the truth is, brother, you talk also about the Kimpton Bay thing going to court. Do you know where it would end up? Do you know who would win or who would lose? We can't make a decision on that. Did you know why the government acted the way they acted? Do you have that information?
Do we even know the facts behind why the gentleman acted in the way that he did?
He did? Do you know?
They were anti-business.
Well, that's what he said. But do you know anything else besides what he said?
Discrepancy.
So because he said, that makes it true?
Well, at the end of the day, we have to listen to all the sides.
Well, that's what I'm telling you. So you can't ask me that question and ask me if it's right or wrong. Because we need to have all the facts.
Yeah, it's now in international...
Right, so because it is in court doesn't mean that he's right. A lot of people will be very wrong and they just take a matter to court, you know. Absolutely. Do you know that?
You're right, but...
Yeah, so let's wait. Let's get the facts before we make a decision.
I think the advisors of the Prime Minister...
Well, that's a feeling again, but we have to get all the facts. But I'm sorry, it's a good discussion. You called a little bit late. We really, really have to cut down, so we're out of time totally. We've gone beyond, so maybe another day we can continue that discourse.
Yeah, man, have a nice day.
You have a blessed one yourself. Take good care.
All right, well, Mr. Bola, I can't even ask you for closing words because we are way out of time. So, guys, we have come to the end of our program for today. And as we say here every day, in whatever we say and whatever we do, be safe and be secure. We always want to be talking with you, but we do not ever want to be talking about you. So please do enjoy the remainder of your day and stay tuned for the National Report. It's been a pleasure.
Initial summary of peer review evaluation shows Grenada making progress with effectiveness of anti-money laundering practices. We'll have details to this story and more in the National Report. With the details to the news for Tuesday, June 29th, 2021, I am Chrisanne Mitchell. Preliminary findings from the just concluded mutual evaluation assessment by the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force shows Grenada progressing very well in terms of effectiveness and technical compliance with anti-money laundering practices. Attorney General Dia Forrester explained that effectiveness and technical compliance are the two basic components of the peer review process.
Based on the summary received, we think we are progressing very well in terms of our effectiveness and technical compliance. And of course, given the dynamic and consistently evolving nature of these types of threats, we have and will always have room for improvement. One of the main strengths coming out of the mutual evaluation is the cooperative nature of the players in our industry to tackle these issues, but it is also one of our shortcomings insofar as it lends itself to an informal approach in both the public and private sectors, which raises our vulnerability to money laundering and terrorist financing.
Forrester, who is also chairman of Grenada's Anti-Money Laundering and Combating Terrorism Financing Commission, said considering the dynamic and constantly evolving nature of these threats, Grenada is making steady improvements and these must continue. The preliminary report details 23 key findings. During the 2-week review period, the assessors met with various public and private sector representatives. The initial draft of the comprehensive report is expected within the next 2 months. This report is expected to contain analysis of the implementation and effectiveness of Grenada's measures to combat money laundering and terrorist financing.
Our AML and CFT Commission will have the opportunity to discuss the findings and raise objections to the findings. And once the report is finalized and published, then we go through a plenary session which involves further discussions of the findings, the ratings for our country, and the recommended actions for Grenada to undertake. Now that should take us to about May 2022. So though the on-site leg of the evaluation has been completed, we have several more months of work ahead of us to see where we are at as a country in relation to our effectiveness and technical compliance with AML CFT matters.
There will be an opportunity for the AML CFT Commission to discuss the findings and raise objections before a final report is published. Grenada's Attorney General, Dia Forrester, welcomes the move by government to sign on to the e-litigation portal service, which she believes is the right move to transform the country's judicial system. The e-litigation portal was officially launched in Grenada on June 21, 2021, and having used the portal prior to her return to Grenada in 2019, the Attorney General says it will expedite the time within which matters are dealt with.
The portal is accessible 24 hours daily, weekdays, weekends, public holidays, and yes, we do work on all those days from time to time based on the demands of the job as counsel. The last time we had such a transformation in the judiciary of this nature was the introduction of the civil procedure rules in 2000. Now, I have only practiced under the new civil procedure rules, and I cannot imagine not having the benefit of those rules to guide the court's procedure. Now, I can say I look forward to not being able to imagine life without e-litigation. In fact, I can indicate that I used the portal for 2 years prior to relocating to Grenada in 2019. And it was difficult to return to a prior way of life and physical findings, especially being aware that there was a better, more efficient, and more cost-effective way to live. So I am completely in favor of a paperless system and the concept of e-judiciary.
At Tuesday's post-cabinet press briefing, the Attorney General said while it's a move in the right direction with the e-litigation portal, some may have concerns regarding self-represented litigations. She highlighted the process that they will have to follow.
Those individuals merely have to go to the registry, and the registrar's office will facilitate the lodging of such matters on the e-litigation portal on behalf of self-represented litigants. Individuals who are concerned about the interruptions in services or the potential interruption in services, for example, internet downtime, whilst it may arise from time to time, those brief interruptions will not cripple the system. The system is working, it's functioning, and I would say we're on the dawn of a new day in Grenada, and it is good for us to again be back on the cutting edge of these matters and services.
With the introduction of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court's e-litigation portal, Grenada has joined its OECS neighbors in the move, which is expected to transform the operation of courts in the country. The online portal platform will see a phased-out approach to the manual and paper-based filing of documents in Grenada and forms part of government strategic plans to establish eco-friendly practices. This is the National Report. News will continue after the break. Welcome back. Chairperson of the National Organizing Committee, Troy Garvey, has promised continued high standards in Grenada's hosting of the remaining T20 matches between the West Indies and South Africa. The final match in Grenada will take place on July 3rd. Only fully vaccinated persons are allowed into the stadium to witness the matches.
As organizers of this game, we have been delivering this game at a very high level for many, many years. And I see no reason why we cannot continue to do so, and the expectation should be very high for us here. And I think we must compliment a number of persons who so far has come forward, starting with the ground staff at the National Stadium, the head groundsman and his team, the officials from the Ministry of Sports, have done a fantastic job to ensure that everything has been at the highest possible level. And also there are a number of persons who are working quietly in the background. For example, the officials at the Ministry of Health, to ensure the teams arrive safely, to ensure the testing have been done, to ensure the testing continues. The officials at the Customs Department, the Airport Authority. It has been a come together, pooling the resources of all areas to ensure the delivery of these games.
Kerry Frank, representative of the local organizing committee, encouraged individuals to come out and support the remaining matches.
On behalf of the GCA, and by extension CW, I thank the Grenadians who have come out so far over the weekend to support Team West Indies in their present. And we want to say thanks to them and also encourage the Grenadian community who are there, still undecided if they want to come into the stadium, those who are fully vaccinated and have gotten their second shot more than 14 days ago. We have one of our very own engaged in the matches, that's Andre Fletcher, an opportunity to see one of our own Grenadians playing international cricket before our very own eyes as the team gets ready for the T20 World Cup later on in the year. So we have 3 excited days, and we encourage everyone to come out and be part of the action at the National Stadium.
Finally, in the news, the fishing Mecca Guave and the Roman Catholic community celebrate Fisherman's Birthday, which is also observed as the birthday of St. Peter, patron saint of fishermen. Due to the effects of COVID-19 and the government's mandate to continue to protect life and livelihoods during this period, the 2021 commemorative activities have been scaled down. Governor General Her Excellency Dame Cecile Lagrenade, during the ecumenical service on Tuesday, commended the fisherfolk who continue to promote the industry and contribute to economic development.
I think that the hardworking, industrious people of Guelph continue to make a very important contribution to our country in terms of providing the protein, nutritious fish food that we all enjoy in many different ways, and also in terms of providing foreign exchange to the export of the fish catches that are made, not only in Guelph but in other parishes where we have the fishing activities taking place.
Government has commissioned a study to assess the Fisheries Division, which will ultimately resolve some of the many challenges faced by fisherfolk. That announcement was made by Fisheries and Cooperatives Minister Honorable Yolande Bain-Hosford. She said government will also establish a Fisheries Management Committee to deal with challenges and create linkages between the fisheries sector and other industries to propel growth.
The ultimate intent is to have a well-functioning fisheries division capable of meeting the contemporary needs of the industry. Modernized structures, resources, and technical competencies would be engaged as a result and usher in a new era in the fisheries division here in Grenada.
On June 29th, fishermen, vendors, and community members attend church services, followed by a procession to the bay where the boats are blessed. The day usually ends with boat races and street celebrations. Parliamentary Representative Honorable Alvin Dabrio challenged his constituents to play their role to ensure that in 2022, the celebrations can be held under normal circumstances. He urged them to get vaccinated.
We're looking forward to really celebrating the fisherman's birthday and all the activities. But this year it's a little scaled down. And one of the reasons is because we know of the pandemic and a lot of people haven't taken the vaccine. But you know, the ones that want to go and party the most are the ones that's not taking the vaccine. And the ones that's home, they're taking the vaccine. So let's change that because we want to get back to normal. We're looking forward to getting back to normal. We haven't had Fish Friday for a while, and we want to start it back. But we want to start it back bigger and better, not as it used to be. So we want to take this opportunity to get more people involved in it. Even the cooperative, the fisherman cooperative, you all should get more involved so that you could sell your products. Because if it's bigger, more people would come and everybody would benefit.
That story has ended the national report for today, Tuesday, June 29th, 2021. Recapping the top story, initial summary of peer review evaluation shows Grenada making progress with effectiveness of anti-money laundering practices. On behalf of the entire news and production team here at the Government Information Service, I am Chrisann Mitchell saying thank you for joining us. Until next time.